Yo, what's going on, guys? This is the homie Keith right here. Man, like he was one of the OGs right here, so I'm excited to do this one for sure. So yeah, you guys know how it goes. I'm just gonna ask him some questions, gonna ask him like what he's been up to, or, how the business is going, the agency is going, and we'll kind of just start with Keith doing a little bit of an intro. If you could just intro like who you are, where you're from, what you're up to, like are you in college, are you working, like just give it a little bit of an intro, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Like Faye said, my name is Keith. I'm 21 years old, and I currently am in college while I'm doing all this. So I live in Washington State in the U.S. And it's probably around June, that I actually ended up joining the program. I had been, I knew that I wanted to do online business stuff, and I tried with some different things, but I hadn't really fully committed to something until I joined this, started learning from Phase, and since then I've been consistently full on just running, trying to build up a cold email lead gen agency, and yeah, been going pretty solid, doing it while also still being in school. So it is
Sick.
possible, just a lot of work, but we're making it work.
100%. That's sick, dude. Yeah, man. Like, so for all you guys out there watching this, like, yo, I'm in college. Like, I can't do it. I'm working. Like, dude, this dude's grinding. This dude joined the program and then he had to take a break because he was working like 8, 10 hours a day at a construction job in the summer. And then he actually ended up coming back and really going hard at it and actually taking it serious. So, like, if you take it seriously, you're going to get the results, right? So, that's kind of what I
Yeah,
want to talk about
yeah.
now is like, what are you up to now? Like, how's the business? Like, how's everything going?
Okay, yeah. So again, school every day. So I have a couple classes every day and got to do homework. The normal thing how school goes.
Yeah.
But outside of that, most obviously all my focus is towards actually trying to build a business with an emphasis on client fulfillment. Number one, that's the most important thing. I really want to focus on getting those results, so that takes the priority sometimes um, over actually scaling and doing my own outreach. But I am starting to. That's what I've recently been getting back to. So sort of just like in general, what my day looks like on a daily basis is I usually get up around 6, just because that like the 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. window is that window before class that I know every day that like I just get up and I'm guaranteed to have that time block to just grind or take calls, do whatever I have to do. That's when I do a lot of my campaign planning or follow-ups, whatever I need to get done for the day, and a lot of just that deep work. That's like the guaranteed deep work block that I know I have every day. Um, and then usually around 9 a.m. is when I have my first classes. And throughout classes, I typically always have the inboxes open. I'm sitting in class, but I'm still monitoring emails, doing follow ups, that sort of things. We're multitasking,
Hell yeah.
um, and then just throughout the day, finding whatever time I have to work until I'm eventually done with my school day. And then it's mixing in homework with work, going to the gym, doing whatever, that sort of things. But yeah, emphasis on client fulfillment. And then right now, as I'm sort of gearing up towards about a little over a month left of school before the summer, when I really know I have basically unlimited time to just strap in and grind, I'm focusing more on the scaling and doing more outbound. So I've just been gearing that up today. I actually today I took one of those first sales calls with. It was a follow up call today with sort of my first batch of following or starting to scale again, and I actually closed that client today. So
Dude, what?
we're one for one with
That's
that. So that's pretty
crazy.
sick.
That's sick.
Um, yeah. So my goal moving forward is to basically just get through this last month or so, and then really, I think we'll talk through this more as we go throughout this, but
Dude,
really
hell yeah.
strap in and have
That's
that
sick.
time to actually scale.
So like what's kind of like the business looking like? You said you're focusing more on fulfillment. So obviously you wanted to build some systems that like could actually get your clients results, which is like very
Yeah.
important, right? So how many
Mhm.
clients do you kind of working with right now?
Yeah, so right now there's two main clients that I'm working with, and I had two or three more at one point, but I actually decided that it was in my best interest to just sort of let them go. I think
Mm,
I think a lot of the times when you, especially when you're first starting out, you pretty much take any work you can get, which
yeah,
I don't think is a bad thing at all, because you need whatever experience you can starting out. But once you get to a point where you have minimum viable competency, and
facts.
you know what you're doing, you've gotten some sort of results, like you have some bit of social proof, um, pretty quickly, then at that point you can kind of start to have standards where you realize, okay, maybe this client is a pain in the ass, or I just
Facts.
don't want to work with them. Would rather work with someone who I I can, well, for one, can get better results for,
You
because
kind of earn that abundance mentality, but you have to earn it because you go first.
yeah, exactly.
Like you go through it first. You go with whoever you work with. Like you go with whatever because you need some deals. And now that you've had those 5, 6 clients, whatever the case is, like now you're like, okay, like these aren't good ones to work with, but these ones are. So like let me kind of stick with these.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, now I moving forward, I can be a lot more selective with both the businesses that I work with and their offer, because I have a pretty good idea just talking to them, sort of the kind of results I'm able to get with that before I even work with them.
hundred
And then on
percent
top of that, I'm able to be selective enough to where, like, I want to work with people that are actually cool and I want to work with, and like
facts.
can just shoot the shit with.
100%. That's one of the best parts about this business, huh? Isn't it? Like once you start to get results,
Yeah,
like you could actually pick and choose what types of people you want to work with, which is dope.
e-
Definitely.
yeah, exactly. So like I said, I got rid of those couple clients, downsized to two, just focusing on getting super sick results for them, and then sort of building out those case studies to where I can use them for my own outreach and leverage them, sort of scaling to get basically better, higher quality clients.
The classic formula, bro. It's like the classic
Yeah.
formula right there. Yeah, dude. So, dude, it seems
Hmm.
like you're doing pretty well, huh? So, like, dude, honestly, I want to ask, like, what do you think is like the biggest difference between like before you joined the program and like after? Like, obviously now, like you're more competent, like with you have clients and everything. But business
Yeah.
aside, like obviously you went from 0 clients to like 5, 6 clients to like down to like 2 like really good clients, and then you're focusing on systemizing that. The business part is done. Like obviously you've become a better businessman and everything. But like, is there anything like else that's kind of changed, like helped you at all, like joining the program? Like, what's the differences between Keith like May last year and Keith now?
Yeah. I think two of the main things are, one is community. I think that's super helpful, and that's what's super sick about being in the program. Is like, it's one thing to just go through a course, but it's another thing to be um, going through a program or some sort of coaching where you're doing it alongside other people and have that as a resource. Not only the other students, but also I have you as a resource too. It's like where you're the one teaching us, but at the same time you're our peer. So, and
Fact.
it's not like some super formal relationship like that, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like,
cool. It's
so
just
I think
chill.
that's, yeah, exactly. It's it's a lot easier to stay motivated and be working towards something when other people are doing the exact same thing, because
Facts.
it doesn't feel good to see the other people succeeding if you aren't. So like,
That's
it's pretty
true, bro.
motivating in that sense.
That wins
And then
channel be
also,
pissing you off.
exactly, and then also, well, it also just shows
It's
you that it's even
it's inspiration.
possible.
Of course, bro. I'm when I mean pissed off, it's like it's pissing you off in the best way possible. Like it's the most
Yeah, no,
positive
for
version of
sure.
making you angry. It's like such a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because it makes you competitive, which everyone is competitive whether they admit it or not. um,
Hundred
and
percent.
then also just like being able to ask questions too, like having, if I have a question, I can get it answered in within 5 minutes by someone
Facts.
who's doing the exact same thing. So that's
Hundred
super
percent.
helpful in that sense. And then I think the other aspect that was super helpful is just having a committing some committing to something and having a concrete direction. So that's both in the sense of uh, buying into something and knowing that I gotta put my money where my mouth is, and um, I'm going to invest in this and I'm spending money on this, so I need to actually show up for myself and commit to this. And then also just like committing to one program or one route, because it's really easy until you do pick something to
Shiny
shiny object
object.
syndrome is
Shiny object,
ridiculous, and
literally, dude.
there's going to be some new guru every single day pitching you some different type of
Always
business
something,
model,
dude. It's true. You
which
gotta
at
pick
end of the day they all work, but it's just whatever you commit to.
whatever you commit to.
So like if you're going to take anything away, just pick something and just stick with it and commit to it, and you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, dude. That answers already one of my questions I was gonna ask in like later on down. So like that kind of takes that out. It's like what would you tell someone who's on the fence? And it's like, dude, like if you're gonna make a decision, like don't go all in on that decision, right? Don't just be like, oh, hey, I'm gonna try this for a month and then go do something else. Like, nah, like once you pick something, like lock in because it's gonna work, but it's not gonna work on your timeline. It's gonna work when it works, and it might take
Exactly.
it could take 3 months, it could take 6 months, it could take a year, two, it could take longer, but it will work. But it's just about you committing, which is huge.
Yeah.
And dude,
Yeah,
it's go ahead.
okay, I was just gonna say it's focusing on the inputs over the outputs. You know, you show up, you put in your 10, 12 hours every single day, eventually. Like, and it is eventually, because it does take longer than you think. You're not
Yes.
gonna work for 2 hours for a month and all of a sudden be at 10K a month. It doesn't work like that,
Nope.
especially starting out. Um, but once you get past like a certain barrier, like at that point you're not going to quit and you eventually will make it. Like it's honestly
Yeah.
probably like
I think it's
if you
first
can
client.
survive, it's that. Or I was going to say, if you can survive just 3 months of showing up and putting in the work,
That's
after
true.
that point you're going to keep going past that
Facts.
point.
Dude, that's actually such a good point, actually. And everyone who kind of drops off, they drop off after that 90-day mark when they don't get results. And the
Exactly.
craziest thing is that, like, dude, like, if you stick another 3 months after the first 3 months, like, you're going to get results. Like, you're actually going to get results. Like, it's actually impossible not to because, like, you've compounded all these skills. But the thing is like, those first 3 months, especially if you're starting from zero, you have no knowledge, anything, like, dude, it takes time to just learn the fundamentals. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn the
Hmm.
basics before you could really go all in on this stuff, right? And it takes
Yeah,
time. So
for
everyone
sure.
quits, dude, before like dude, people will quit and they haven't even sent like a couple thousand emails, dude. Like we're sending probably a couple thousand emails a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Literally.
Yeah,
So
that's also like part of that too is over that course of time, like sometimes it sounds like a lot, sometimes it doesn't sound a lot, but your perspective changes so much and so fast that like you're just consuming so much information that like the people who quit early haven't even had the opportunity to actually process a lot of that.
so true, bro. And dude, there's such levels to the information too. That's why, like for example, like when someone joins the program or whatever, like I try not to overwhelm them. Like I try to kind of keep them away from you, like your conversations, because if you were to hear the conversation that you're having now, like a year ago, you'd be like, dude, I cannot do this. Like no chance.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's not
mean?
English. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the same thing goes for me too, where I'm at now, someone who's 10 steps ahead of me. Like
literally, dude.
I can listen to that, and I can get bits, bits and pieces that I can apply to where I'm at right now, but it's not going to be as helpful um as talking to someone who's just 2 steps ahead of me or one
Hundred
step ahead of
percent,
me.
dude. Like, I don't know if you were on that call when like Nick Abraham, like good friend of mine, did that like guest
Yeah, I've
call.
listened to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, dude, like this guy's like on another level, right? Like 6 figures a month with the Legion agency, which kind of just proves that you
Hmm.
can like make it with this agency, right? But this guy's talking
Yeah.
about high level stuff like systems and hiring and having like hiring managers and stuff like that. And everyone in the call was just like, dude, what the hell is this guy talking about? You know, because like, but then you realize like the ceiling is so high, like there's so much farther you can go. So there's two ways to
Yeah.
kind of look at it. There's one way to be overwhelmed and then get scared, and then other way is like, yo, like this guy took this thing very far, and he started where I was. So if I keep going with this, like I can be having those conversations too in like a year or two, right?
Yeah, I was going to speak to that exactly. Like, there's two ways to look at it. You can either be overwhelmed and there's way too much information, and like I get that, and that's why, especially starting out, like you got to start with step one.
Facts.
But also, like the sort of the way I look at it, even like the things I don't understand, um, I think it's super cool, and it gives me something to look forward to, because there's basically infinite levels. Like, you
It
can
doesn't
either be
stop.
intimidated by the fact that there is so much more to learn, or like it's just a sick opportunity if you genuinely enjoy
100%.
learning and look forward to it, which is super exciting for me for sure.
100%. Dude, it's so true. Like the way I look at it too is like I talk to people who are doing like 10x the numbers I'm doing, right? And you get to a
Hmm.
point where it doesn't really like scare you or make you feel any type of way when you really kind of get into that growth mindset and you just change the way you think about like other people's success and like success. You just kind of open your mind. You're like, hey, like if he can do it, like I'm a human too. Like I can get to that point too, right? And another
Yeah,
part that's
exactly.
huge is like, dude, if you just surround yourself with people that are getting after it, building the agency, building whatever you're trying to build, it just becomes so much easier to win, bro. Like I will literally spend so much money just to be around people that are making way more money than me because I know that's just going to rub off on me. Like it does. Like it literally rubs off on you. So that's like a huge
Yeah,
part of it too. Is like
exactly.
after a certain point, yeah, it's about the knowledge, like little tiny tips and tricks and little gaps of knowledge, but it's more so just about having that energy around you of like people who are crushing it. So like it just makes you, it increases your standard. Because, dude, if your standard is like you're hanging out with dudes who are just working 9 to 5s, like they're not making money, like they're going out on the weekends, like they're not doing shit with their life, like that's gonna be like your lowest standard. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, other people are doing that. But if your standard is dudes who are doing like 50K a month and like those, that's like your circle, then you're gonna be like, dude, I'm a loser if I don't make 50K a month, and that's when you're actually gonna make 50K a month.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, basically, what this was sick, by the way, awesome. Like, Keith's been spitting some game here for you guys for sure. But basically, the last question I would want to ask, you kind of did answer it already, but it's just like, what are your goals? Honestly, like, what's like your goals for the rest of the year? Like, what are your goals with this agency? Like, where do you want to take this thing, and where do you see this thing going?
Yeah, so by the end of the year, my goal is 20K a month, which I think I can pretty realistically get to that, honestly.
100%,
Um,
100%.
yeah, so that's my end of year goal. I'm also working on uh, actually the last like 3 days I was pretty bad at it, but I'm trying to get more consistent with Twitter too. So sort of my
Yeah,
goals are like end of year, like 1,000 Twitter followers, 20K a month. I want to I need to start posting on YouTube. That's the next step of like scaling too.
hell yeah, bro.
So working on like creating and putting out as much content as I can to actually try to grow and attract the clients that I want. And then
Dude,
also
$100%.
as far as education wise, once I'm done with school this summer, or like probably like a month in, like May or June-ish, I want to uh I'm also planning on joining Client Ascension too. So like sort of like the next level of coaching and joining in with people who are
Doing
another
that.
10 steps ahead of me. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, dude. I was in client ascension and I have like nothing but good things to say about it. You know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
great. It
I
really helped
I
me.
want to continue to um, invest in education and coaching as much as possible,
You should,
because
bro.
I
It
do
doesn't
want
stop.
to. Yeah,
It
there's
doesn't
no
stop.
like I know what's possible, so there's no reason for me to not try to scale this thing as big as I can, which is what I would like to do. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, that's sick, bro. Honestly, like you're crushing it. Completely different than the Keith I talked to last year, bro. Like completely different, bro. Like you're running a business now, scaling up to 20K a month this year, which is awesome, dude. I want to do another one when you hit the 20K, bro. We'll do another one of these and I'll post it for the 20K. But yeah, bro,
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
it.
sick.
That's it for this, man. Like I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some insights out of this, out of Keith, and stay on the lookout for him. Like I'll tag his Twitter below, and you guys throw him a follow on Twitter as well. I'm gonna post this on YouTube. That's why I'm saying that. So yeah, everyone who is following me, subscribe to me. Like go throw Keith a follow. This guy's a killer, man. And yeah, I'll end it here.
Awesome.